Any thoughts about that last run? Gaichu shrugs, blinking a few times in surprise.
What do you expect me to say? You've allowed me to live, invited me into your home, or boat if you prefer, and have given me a means to earn an income and use my particular set of talents. I am pleased with this. While I understand you desire to keep the elders alive, to preserve whatever goodwill exists between you and the Wampoans, I worry that such softness sends the wrong message to those in the underworld. There is a time for truth, but there is also a time for sending a message.
I need to talk to you about your condition. Gaichu inclines his head.
As you wish. You are my benefactor, and as such, I yield to you. Ask, then. I will do my best to answer.
How do I know that my team is safe from you?
Because I give you my word that I will not harm you or anyone else on the team.
Gaichu squares his shoulders, expression stony.
I am a man with a disease, not a mindless beast. My word is my bond.
I can accept that.
Good. I would hate to think that there is lingering distrust between us.
Aside from being blind, how has it affected you?
Aside from my heightened senses of smell and hearing, I am stronger, tougher, and more resilient than any mundane human. I can achieve feats of physicality that are normally restricted to adepts and those with extensive enhancements.
Gaichu lifts one hand, fingers crooked to show off his elongated nails. Claws, really?
These as well, as sharp as any small knife. I prefer my sword, but in a grapple they come in extremely handy.
He draws one nail over the surface of his shoulder plates. A hair-fine spiral of armor peels off in the nail's wake. Do you still need to sleep? Gaichu chuckles, his laughter rasping out over his lips.
Unfortunately, I do. I am not an undead creature of legend. If I manage to unlock the secret of rest without sleep, I will be certain to inform you.
It seems like your condition has stabilized.
For now, it has. I will not suddenly become a ravenous beast lurking in the hold of your ship. At least, no more so than I already am.
Gaichu bares his teeth in a wry grin, tipping his head a little. Why did you pick the name Gaichu anyway?
It was given to me. This is what the Japanese call ghouls for the most part. I am vermin, a thing shunned by polite society, to be hunted and slain for a bounty. My old life is gone. It seemed as apt a name for the streets as any other that I could choose.
I like that attitude. It turns the tables of power. Gaichu dips his head in agreement.
One does not defeat the enemy solely by strength of arms. One must turn one's own weaknesses into strengths. It is an old and valuable lesson, too often forgotten.
Your armor is heavier than what most Shadowrunners wear, and more distinctive too. Gaichu nods, growling his assent.
That is correct. It is the armor worn by the elite soldiers of the Renraku corporate military, the Red Samurai.
What are the Red Samurai?
The Renraku Military's Secret Operations Division, the most elite that the corporation has to offer, on par with Ares Firewatch or Shirotangira's Ghosts. The Red Samurai are world-class soldiers assigned to only the most difficult and important missions.
That armor's a rare thing for a Shadowrunner to have.
That is true. It is considerably less rare for a Red Samurai to have a suit of it, however, even if he goes rogue.
You don't strike me as a corporate soldier.
Circumstances change, and with them, perspective. I was a member of the Renraku military for my entire adult life, until my current affliction anyway. Hence, I still possess my armor, my sword, my training. They have served me well in both my previous life and in this one.
How did you end up running the shadows? Gaichu rasps out a coughing laugh that reverberates through the cramped room.
What other employment is appropriate for a cannibal whose only previous experience is in military operations? There are not many things I know how to do. This is one of them.
You weren't always a ghoul, though.
In theory, Red Samurai who are wounded are given the best in medical treatment and cybernetics. If these are insufficient to return them to active duty, they are given a pension and retired. In practice, this is never the case. Red Samurai teams do everything together. Eat, sleep, train, play. We learn to think for each other, move as a single entity. When part of that team is broken, it affects everyone.
Gaichu runs his claws over his scalp, sighing.
The other members of the unit would be distracted, thinking about a wounded comrade, and would resent a new member for usurping the old member's place. So the wounded invariably take the same course of action, for the good of the team. Ritual suicide, seppuku.
That's completely insane. Gaichu chuckles softly, shaking his head.
I believe that it is effective in most cases, but I also believe I am worth more alive than dead. In my case, I became infected while on a sabotage mission against Shiawase in Osaka. The unit was exfiltrating on foot from Naniwa Ward through the Ivan Shiku slums. We had not anticipated a ghoul nest on our route. My surprise got the better of me and I was bitten. Understand that since the passage of the Yamato Act, Japan is a pure country. Metahumans are deported, and to be infected with HMHVV is to be less than an animal. You would be killed on sight. Since this was, in effect, the same as being permanently crippled in the eyes of the team, it was expected that I would kill myself.
So, HMHVV is a virus that leads to the existence of ghouls. There's also a different strain of it that, depending on certain criteria being met, will give you, like, Wendigo, vampires, and stuff like that. It's basically an excuse written into the lore for the existence of cool monsters slash cryptids in this sort of like semi-realistic future setting. That's basically all it is. It's a plot device, effectively. That sounds pretty fascist. Gaichu bares his teeth in a vicious grin.
When I was younger, I would have argued that you simply did not understand what it means to be Japanese. I think now, however, that you are correct. The Yamato Act is a convenient way to encourage nationalistic fervor, while avoiding the racial problems of other nations by simply removing non-humans. Because I was still capable of fighting, I questioned the necessity of suicide. Why should I die if I was still as effective as before? Why was that not worth having simply because my diet changed? One does not simply discard a quality tool simply because the surface is stained. I made the decision to leave while the unit was allowing me time to prepare for my expected suicide. I took nothing but my weapons, armor, and a small number of personal mementos. I knew that the unit would hunt me down and kill me. Ghouls are considered vermin in Japan. To have a red samurai become one and refuse to die? Unconscionable.
How long did it take for them to find you?
They found me 2 weeks after I ran. I was careless as I fled south, and they caught up with me in Fukuoka. But I escaped, barely. It was at that point that I decided that I should leave Japan. I knew that they would not stop hunting me, but I could make it more difficult for them.
How did you end up in Hong Kong?
I was searching for a cure. I needed a place where I could disappear into the shadows, find work, and evade capture if a cure did not materialize. The Yamato Act meant that it was even more dangerous to be in Japan than anywhere else.
Gaichu smiles thinly, leaning back on his heels.
I went to Japan primarily because I still hoped to be able to return home. Or, went to China. Primarily because I still hoped to be able to return home. It felt less final if I fled to somewhere nearby. I went first to Shanghai, but Renraku's presence there is significantly more robust than in Hong Kong. I learned that my previous unit had not stopped hunting me after I left Japan, so I decided to move further afield.
Gaichu unfurls his hands, claws pointing toward the ceiling.
Hence, Hong Kong. Where else can anyone arrive and disappear without the city carrying one whit?
Berlin seems like a good spot.
Perhaps 5 years ago, but the recent upheavals and the newly iron-fisted Seder-Krupp influence filled me with trepidation. The flux state is no more. Long live the corporate Berlin of the future.
Yeah, that's a bummer. The great anarchist experiment failed. Hey, just as like a little reminder, I did do a full Let's Play of Shadowrun Dragonfall. I might do an updated version of that one though. So if you want to learn more about like Berlin and the flux state and like basically a whole bunch of the stuff that I've had to kind of like expound upon a little bit, go check out that Let's Play, or better yet, go play Shadowrun Returns and Shadowrun Dragonfall because they're very good games and Harebrained Schemes deserves your money. Anyway,
since arriving here, I've drifted between neighborhoods, selling my services to those who are unafraid of my appearance and condition.
Gaichu frowns deeply.
It has not been as profitable as I'd hoped.
Did you grow up in a corporation?
Yes, in Keihanshin, the Kyoto-Osaka Kobe sprawl. It is less populated than Neo-Tokyo, but not by much. I grew up in East Kobe, where my father was posted in a Renraku complex.
Gaichu roots around in a nearby box, running his fingertips over several chips before deciding on one. He slots it into his PDA, and a Trid photo flickers to life in the space between you. A young man, obviously Gaichu, leans against a railing which overlooks a sprawling harbor complex of skyscrapers and cranes. His school uniform is ripped, and the beginnings of a black eye are forming. Abrasions cover his knuckles, and blood dots his pants. Despite this, he's grinning like he's just won the lottery. Vibrant. Fierce. You look a little beat up.
Ah, that must be on Mount Maya. If I remember right, I gave better than I got in that fight. 3 against 1, but they were out of shape and cocky. I used to cause a lot of trouble when I was in school. My father was constantly raging that I had no sense of responsibility, and that I needed to take life more seriously.
A cackle erupts from Gaichu, sudden mirth spreading across his face.
The final straw was when he bailed me out of jail.
I've been in jail a few times. What did you do?
My friends and I stole a delivery van. It had a shipment of Shiawase SimSense decks. Brand new, very expensive. We were going to fence them and use the money to take a trip to Okinawa.
Gaichu pauses, cocking his head.
Are you familiar with what it's like to grow up in a corporate family? You have to understand, children are trained to hate rival corporations. We did not regard a theft of Shiawase goods as illegal. We were simply doing our part to ensure Renraku's supremacy. This kind of behavior is ignored and even tacitly encouraged by company media. Unfortunately, we were caught by Shiawase security, not Renraku.
What did your father do next? Gaichu clicks his tongue a few times. He seems reluctant to continue.
That is a story for another time, unfortunately. I still have a lot of arranging to do, and I doubt anyone else will be willing to be alone with me in a darkened room. Come back later. We can discuss it further.
Okay, if that's what you want. Gaichu bows politely.
It is, and thank you again for your hospitality.
Okay, we have done the rounds. We've talked to everybody. Let's get started on a new job. Finally. By the way, just for the record, we're gonna be doing that after every run. So get used to there being a lot of downtime where I just read a lot. Alright, what's going up with this whole party thing? Hello, Dr. Shen Yang. A rotund, balding dwarf in a cheap suit turns to face you. Light glints from the heavy gold chains that hang around his neck. When he speaks, the voice that greets your ears is high and nasal and has been contorted into a rough approximation of a New York accent. Pleased to meet ya. Shang was kind enough to arrange his little sit-down between us. He extends a slab-like hand for you to shake. You can call me Dr. Shen Yang. Pleased to meet you. I'm Ellicat. His grip is as soft as his palm is moist. It's like shaking hands with a boneless ham. You share a long, uncomfortably flaccid handshake before he finally releases you. I'm looking for a little outside help on a problem I've been having. Ordinarily, I'd handle it myself or have some of my friends see to it, but it's kinda delicate, you know? My guys had been noticed before they made any headway on my problem, so I figure, hey, I hire some contractors all the time. Might as well get some contractors of a different stripe. Tell me about your problem. Maybe we can help. Actually, lasting problems are made through favors exchanged. I'm all ears. I run a little film studio, Southern Crown Films. We mostly do trid work, but we record some sims too. Maybe you've seen some of my stuff. Space Mongols from the Moon, The Flavor of Pomegranates, Ultimate Kill Squad. Can't say I've had the pleasure. Too bad. I'll send some over to Chang so you can take a look. Anyway, there's this guy in the industry and we've been butting heads since day one. Name's Neville Ma. He runs Yellow Spring Studios. No matter what I do, I can't shut him out of the biz. He always manages to get one over on me, steal my stars. He's been running me into the ground with this show called Promises in Moonlight. The star is a girl named Penelope Wong, new talent, but the viewers have been going nuts over her. She's the star, she's the show's linchpin. Hang on, I'm getting there. So about 6 months ago, Neville was out in Guangzhou for some hoity-toity party. He's on the road, probably drunk, as Sammy comes out of nowhere and pow! Wrecks his fancy new Eurocar Westwind. Bad luck for Neville, good luck for me. I figure, hey, that's the end of him for the year, and I start planning some new stuff he can't compete with from inside a hospital. You follow me so far? Let me guess, he found a way to compete with you from in the hospital. No, worse. The bastard was out of the hospital. He's back in the game, bringing out Season 2 of Promises in Moonlight. I need that show off the air, one way or another. And that, my friend, is where you come in. How long did it take him to recuperate? I tell you, kid, he should have been in the hospital for at least 3 months. And in physical therapy, a lot longer. Only took him like a week to get out. Couldn't freaking believe it.
That kind of medical care costs top dollar. He's got a lot of money, but not that much. Recovery time like that means one of two things is going on. Neville could have found himself a silent partner, someone willing to pay top dollar for cutting-edge care. I don't think it's likely, but it could have happened. If it ain't that, the smart money says he's been skimming off the top of Yellow Spring's earnings and not reporting it to the other shareholders.
Tell me how I fit into this.
I need you to go get me something to blackmail Neville with. Find out how he can afford to get out of the hospital so fast. He works out of his penthouse most days, so search his computer, closet, sock drawer, whatever. There's gotta be something incriminating in there.
Where is this penthouse?
Neville lives in the Repulse Bay. It's this real swanky joint on the south end of Hong Kong Island, by the bay with the same name. I haven't been able to get anybody in to poke around his apartment because the security's too tight. Lucky for you, though, Neville's throwing a party on the mezzanine level with all the shops and a restaurant and balcony and such. He's celebrating the second season launch of his show, and everybody's gonna be there. Gotta make a real snarl for the building security. You might also want to hit up the party if you can bluff your way in. Everyone close to Neville will be there. And most of them will be 3 sheets to the wind by the time you get there. Some discreet questioning might get me the dirt that I need. Just remember, if you go to the party, don't use your real name. Go with Argyle. Should be safe enough. There's nobody in the biz out there with that name, so nobody will ask questions about how your work's going.
Can you just make a better show?
It's not just a better show, it's Penelope Wong, too. I get her, I get all her fans, too. They'll watch anything she's in. Listen, it's like this. A little blackmail never hurt anybody, alright? Well, except the person you're blackmailing. It's just how things work in the industry. I don't dislike the guy, but I gotta stay on top of the business. Now, the blackmail material is what I need more than anything. But if you want to get Penelope Wong out of her contract, I'll pay extra. Got it? I want that star power on my side. One last thing. I don't want you starting a scene while you're there. You interrupt his party, make a mess, or trash his apartment, and I'm not paying you. We clear on that?
We're clear.
Good. I can't have Ma knowing that I'm after him. In my business, everybody's got dirty tricks, but if you make it public you're using them,
Dr. Shen Yang draws a finger across his throat.
That's it. My career's as dead as the People's Republic of China. Nobody will work for or with me ever again. So don't embarrass me, eh?
Understood. I'll be discreet.
That's what I like to hear. You scratch my back, I scratch yours. You can get paid and I'll put the word out you're a solid hire.
Sounds like we have a deal then.
His grin widens. Good woman, that's what I like to hear. When you're done, drop Cheng a line. I'll come meet you back here, and I'll hand over the money.
Cheng-a-lang. Uh-huh. We can probably buy some new stuff. Not from Maximum Law. I have an idea of what I want to do. I just want to go in and shop, bro. He's very, he's slightly paranoid. This clinic looks like it just hosted a party. Spindly mechanical arms swing from unobtrusive wall mounts, pulling down crepe paper ribbons and scooping food platters and empty beer bottles into biohazard bags. A severely crippled Caucasian man sits in a wheelchair amidst the maelstrom of mess and robotics. He's in his 40s, thick beard, tungsten earrings, beer belly, one cyber eye, both his legs are missing, one at the hip, the other at the knee. He has only one arm and only 3 fingers remain on his surviving hand. His face and arms show the scars of reconstructive surgery. He grins widely at you, regarding you with bloodshot eyes. He's clearly hungover.
Hey, I'm Ambrose.
He shouts cheerfully in English, his words piling together in a loose Midwestern accent.
They call me Ten Arms. Welcome to the Kong, fellow UCASian.
He chuckles, his chest shaking with mirth. A Waldo arm springs to life and swings over to him. Its menacing metal pincer momentarily sets a cigarette between his lips, just long enough for him to inhale from it.
Kindly says you're alright. What can I do for you?
Show me your services. Cyberware. I want... Alright, so... I want a robo arm. Maybe, I want a robo arm. This only gets me health, though. That's not super helpful. How much money do I have? Not a lot. Not a lot. +1 quickness, +1 range combat. Ooh, I'll get that one. I can't remember if that changes how you physically look. Actually, this is just skill wire, so it might not. It's not like I'm getting like a robot arm. We'll see. Yeah, so cyberware causes essence loss. This affects the magic rating of your character, as magic is equal to essence rounded down. Magic is very important for spellcasters. The base number of spell slots. Yeah. So yeah, it affects your ability to use magic, basically, which is far more interesting than Cyberpunk literally going like, nah, you're less human. You're less human if you get cybernetics. It's kind of bullshit. I do have a robot arm. Let's look at my sick robot arm real quick. Actually, is there a better way for me to look? Yeah, look at that. We look cool. We are very low on money now, though. Let's go to max. Do we have anything that we can sell? Did I get our pay data from the BBS? Maximum Law surveys the docks from beneath his meticulously patched tarpaulin. Tarpaulin? Tarp. I'll just say tarp. Goggled and belted with electronics, his arms folded, his expression stern, a sweat-drenched little king. His boat rocks gently. As you approach, he looks sharply your way and breaks into an awkward smile. Hey, Alley Cat, I was hoping you'd come around. You got a minute? What's up? Kindly had Wampoa burn your scent. Where it is you're doing work for? Not normal Yellow Lotus stuff. Law shifts from foot to foot. He fidgets with the hardware on his belt. Shadowrunning. Yes, I'm now an unusual asset. Wicked. Law says it distinctly in a hushed tone, then seems to catch himself. He draws himself up to his full height. His usual demeanor of self-assurance returns. That's pretty ironclad, Alley Cat. Pretty vicious. If you do good, you'll be noticed. Listen, if you've got info about runs, I can make it worth something. We Wampoans call that kind of thing metadata. Wampoa likes to get the word on the street from the active operators. Worth something? Credits? Yeah, I can hook you up with something. Maybe creds, maybe some sweet programs. But really, you'll gain face with Wampoa. That counts for a lot more than money. Law looks out through the rain, across the rocking boats. He wipes his foggy goggle lenses with a rag from his pocket. His stomach gurgles loudly. Augmented reality goggles aside, this gig gets really boring sometimes. If you ever want to talk shop, I'm here. I don't... Okay, I don't care. I don't actually care about Maximum Law all that much. Yeah, we are just like flat plumb broke, huh? Oh, we gave me money for that. Cool. We still can't buy a new dick. Can we buy new clothes? Yeah, but I don't like the look of that one. It also doesn't give me any stat bonuses, so like whatever. We need 900. I have 664. Let me go double check that I grabbed the money for the pay data that we posted before that run. I do not recall if we did that. Oh, cool. That is enough. Thankfully. Let's get myself a new deck. Buy that. Confirm. Excellent. I've got some metadata for you. No, I don't. Never mind. And I'm gonna sell my old deck, I guess. Alright, we're good. Steven Dynamite. That's a good name. Wrong name. A disheveled man in filthy rags teeters on the sidewalk, wobbling on unsteady legs. His bloodshot eyes dart about desperately, and the acrid, sweet odor that wafts off of him buzzes unpleasantly in your nostrils. You okay, man? You have to help me, ma'am. His teeth grind as his grip tightens. His hand feels like a vice. I need your help. Say the magic word first. The man yanks you closer. Your eyes are watering from his pungent proximity. Still, you notice that his tattered clothing bears designer logos. Please, take handsomely a message from me. Yeah, I've met him, but who the hell are you? I'm Steven Dynamite. He nods eagerly, desperation in his eyes. A sluggish tongue wipes itself over the cracked skin of his lips. Look, you gotta help me. I've been poisoned. The crap leaves told me put bad things in my head. Whenever I close my eyes, I see dark, narrow tunnels, so many hands grabbing, razor-sharp teeth gnawing, and the children. Poisoned? Sure it's not a bad trip? The man gives a hollow laugh. I know my way around substances well enough to know a bad trip when I have one. This is something else. Alright, I'll do what I can. Then tell Lee what he's done to me, that I need relief. Tell him that I want... What do you want? I want my money back. So this doesn't really go anywhere. It's not really much of anything. It's just like... Cool, everybody is having the nightmares. Yeah, fine. What if I just sold it? I could just sell it. Entirely possible that I could just sell it. Nope. Fine. Yeah, like, I know. Like, I get it. I genuinely, like, don't care. Oh, but that's... Oh, I'm accidentally skipping, like, interesting lore stuff. Whatever. Let's go do a job. It's been a while since we've done a job at this point. We will bring... Gaichu, probably not the best guy to bring if we're trying to stay low. Gobbit, of course, my daughter. Bring Duncan. He's pretty, under the radar. Let's bring Ractor. We haven't brought Ractor in a while. Or we haven't brought Ractor at all. We've only done one job. Why am I saying in a while?